Greetings. Welcome to Chapter 4 of Everything. Last time we started the topic of viewing ourselves as being not just a part of everything, but actually being everything, because the part, no matter how insignificant one might feel, makes up the whole. And I was suggesting that if one must meditate, that it would be more beneficial to concentrate on the whole rather than the empty whole, what modern meditation practices refer to as emptiness or emptying yourself. If I am everything, not just an insignificant part of everything, I can go to work, have relationships, I can be in this world and function in it calmly, patiently, understandingly, mercifully. If I am everything, when we meet, I touch you and we are together, not apart. Together, everything. You confirm in me and I confirm in you, sometimes only subconsciously, that we are together everything. If I am nothing, I have nothing to give you. If I am everything, I have everything to give to you. If I am everything, I cannot lose anything. I can lose nothing. So, in the giving of ourselves to others, we increase the realization of being everything. Or as the Apostle Paul put it in 1 Corinthians of the Bible, I can be all things to all men. If I am nothing, I cannot include you. If I am everything, I must include you. I bring no value to nothing, because there is nothing to which to bring value. Being enlightened about being everything is better than being enlightened about nothing. Everything is better than nothing, right? But perhaps this little theory of mine might be doing someone harm. Maybe he or she needs to focus on nothing for a while because the burden of worrying about everything is tearing them down. Maybe this would be a good place for you, if you are that person, to stop and unload everything. Sometimes losing everything, or rather giving up everything, is necessary in order to realize that everything isn't supposed to be carried. It is supposed to be cherished, drank, allowed to nourish, and shared. Being an empty vessel for a time might help you. But please don't hang out for too long around nothing. We are not complete without you. Speaking of burdens, let me transition this discussion toward what I refer to as the bowl of everything. To be a part of everything, to understand that we are whole, we must accept that everything also includes pain and anguish, frustration, love, hate, jealousy, headaches, cancer, divorce. In a word, everything. The everything isn't perfect. But because my bowl of everything is an open bowl, I have access to everything that can help me during my downtimes. I like what one guy said about laughing over how ridiculous he had been over a situation that had frustrated him. When he realized that he was seeing it all wrong, he had the humility to accept that he was stupid to have let that situation make him feel worse. You can choose to be angry. You can choose to be happy. It's your bowl. You have control over everything. Why do I give negative situations power over me? Why do I let them turn me away from my joy? We get angry not because someone made us angry, whether they intended to make us angry or not, but we get angry because we choose to let that situation give us the freedom to be angry. But you know what? You could choose to not let it make you angry. And one thing I promise you, in most cases, if we choose to not let someone make us angry, we find that there was really nothing to be angry over in the first place. We can no longer blame someone else for our action. We pull all sorts of crap out of the bowl. I have total control over my feelings, so how come I want to blame others for my choices? Well, we eat from the bowl of everything, sometimes to our demise. That is what the Christian concept of forgiveness is all about, by the way. I recognize that the situation made me feel different about myself than I should feel about myself. The way to be free of those feelings is to forgive myself. Not necessarily that person, because that person may not have been or intended for me to feel that way. I may need to forgive myself for allowing myself to get angry about the situation. It's not really about him or her making me angry. It's about how I decided to respond. Forgiveness is about me getting back into my own well-being, not letting the past lead me to more pain. I get, if you will, centered again, a properly flowing cog in the wheel of everything. I don't have to be emotionally distraught by things. When that happens, I find myself needing to ask forgiveness from the person who I had at first thought needed to ask forgiveness from me. It's a beautiful thing. When I forgive myself, or forgive others, or others forgive me, it is as if it never happened. We are one again, whole again. This isn't a lesson on pretending that the problem doesn't exist. It is about accepting it and controlling how you respond, first to yourself and then to others over the situation. All of these experiences define who we are, how we become the secure, self-aware individual. There is a test that can be performed to discover if a person has an acceptable level of enlightenment. The test could be administered by another person, but you should test yourself. And you should probably keep the results of the test to yourself, because if you pass the test, an arrogant attitude might develop, and arrogance breeds contempt in others. The test: put yourself in a perfect state of tranquility, then go about the normal day. What could happen to change your attitude? It's almost always something that someone says or does. If what someone says or does causes you to lose your peace level, is it because they have made you angry, or is it because you feel their pain? Were their words intended to bring harm to you? Even if that is so, is there a possibility that their words or actions weren't intentionally directed toward you, but rather their inability to express their inner pain in the only way they know how, to strike out at others? How often, by the way, do we find ourselves striking out at, let's say, protesters, even though they are protesting about something that you are not even touched by? I can really lose my cool over protesters who, if they would be honest, would confess that they are only protesting because someone stirred them up about something that they previously had no desire to protest against. I don't like to join protest rallies, but I do have to confront myself with the fact that I take the protest of others so personally that I want to strike out against the protesters. So what I am saying is that when something happens to disturb my peace, it's not anything that happens to me. I happen to it. Since it rains on the just and the unjust, then it stands to reason that it rains on the enlightened and the unenlightened. The question is, how are you going to deal with the rain? Well, with that, I must close out this session. I hope that you are having fun in the bowl of everything and will swim back around to where I'm floating and join me next time when I will talk about how everyone will be screwed in life sooner or later, and how that's a necessary part of our being connected to everything. Until then, I will see you next time on Everything.